Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I am Michael Carvelli, joined, as always, by John Terry. And I am joining you live from, I guess it's just like the second day of being stuck in my house all day.
How much snow did you guys get? Hello, by the way. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good.
Good. How much snow did you guys get?
I would say we probably got maybe 6-ish inches,
Damn,
something
man.
like that, 5 or 6. I don't know. I can't really tell. I haven't left, so I don't really know. I haven't been
Why
outside.
leave? Did you go grocery shopping and buy all the bread and milk and stuff?
I did not buy bread. I did go grocery shopping though, just because I usually do on the weekend, so I had to get that ready ahead of time. And um, I will say, I think the thing worse than the amount of snow we got is just everything. So it was like raining for a bit, and then it turned to like a sleety, icy rain for a while. So everything just has like a layer of ice everywhere, on top of the 6 inches of snow or something like that.
Dude, I hadn't experienced that, but it's kind of crazy. Like if you're driving down the road, it happened here too. Because it like started to melt and then it whatever.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Like the top of the snow, like all these yards have like 2 or 3 inches of snow still in them. And the top layer, it looks like the snow has like a skin. It's like shiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's like super weird. I'd never seen that before. I guess it snowed and then it like sleeted on top of it or something.
Right.
But okay, it's a snow day. So you haven't built a snowman. You have not gone outside.
I've not gone outside. I don't mess with snow. I don't like snow. I don't want it.
Is it the coldness? Is it the wetness?
It's just the general hassle of it all. Everything about it is a hassle. It becomes harder to drive places. You have to clean it off your car. You have to I don't want to deal with it.
My thing with snow is I either don't want it to be like a nuisance. So like you get like some flurries.
Here's the thing: it's almost always a nuisance.
Or you just get a shit ton. Like you get like 5 feet, so like everything shuts down and you can't do anything. And then you can have some fun in it.
But then that sucks because you're stuck not being able to do anything.
I mean, okay, well, yeah, fair. That's fair. I have a question for you actually.
Okay.
So you haven't done anything today, or
no.
The snow.
I've been watching movies.
Incredible. I mean, probably some great movies. In fact, I texted you the other night as my personal movie concierge and asked you for suggestions.
And then you did not follow up with me, so I assumed I failed you. So that's
So I will say this: we ended up not watching one of your suggestions. We ended up watching something Mariel had seen on Netflix. I just got ahead of it and was like, I'll just ask for suggestions and look all smart when I pick a good movie. But Mariel wanted to watch. It's called Red Line. Is it Red Line or
Red Notice?
Red Notice, which was like kind of. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best movie ever. It reminded me of like National Treasure, just like kind of like a hokey mystery movie.
The difference between. Never mind.
What?
I hate that movie so much.
Didn't it come out recently?
Yeah, I hate it.
Oh, why do you hate it?
It was a very bad movie.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you tell me a movie I watched sucked, I do feel like, well, whatever.
I think it's
good
just
enough.
No, I think it's me being an asshole.
It's not a good movie. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good movie, but it was like
I just am sick of. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Ryan. I'm sick of Ryan Reynolds.
I thought Ryan Reynolds was actually good in it. He was funny.
He's the same that he was. You can watch any Ryan Reynolds movie and he's the same person. Whatever. Sure. He's Ryan Reynolds. Awesome.
I don't know.
Great.
He's not the same as the
love that. He's Ryan Reynolds. Dwayne Johnson is Dwayne Johnson. Great. Awesome. They're have no chemistry.
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson is not a good actor. He's just not good. I don't understand.
But that's the thing. He doesn't, for certain things, you don't have to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so we ended up watching.
I'm just sick of
it. But I did appreciate the suggestions. I don't really know where I was going. Oh, I have a question. Whenever you do your podcast, you're at home alone right now. Mm-hmm. Why is the door closed?
Just to sit,
You just I just noticed that. You always have the door closed.
Yeah, I just kind of keep it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm just curious. Didn't know if you like got adopted a cat or a dog. And you didn't
Yes,
know
I did.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have
You
the
adopted
dogs in the
both.
other room. Make
You
sure.
adopted both. Hey, the other thing that we watched over the weekend or yesterday on Sunday night on Peacock, and like Peacock is good for nothing other than the Premier League and like NBC Sports stuff. They're just like whatever. I had never watched anything on Peacock other than like I'd watched. Like Cody had suggested a couple like Olympic documentaries, which were good. Do you remember? And you might not. The 2002 Winter Olympics, when like the Canadian figure skating team got like screwed by the French judge, and it was like this big thing. Okay, well then you won't find this exciting, but maybe some of our listeners will. Dude, this documentary is incredible. It's a 4-parter. The 4th part comes out on Thursday. It was so good, like just an amazing sport. I love good sports documentaries. They did such a good job of producing this thing. Like enough of a backstory. Like I learned so much about the backstory that I didn't know about. It was solide.
I don't know why, but I have never been into the Winter Olympics.
Maybe this is the year.
They're
coming up.
I follow, I will say, like ever since Michael started doing the figure skating stuff, like once I had once I had people like involved in someone, I will pay attention to that thing.
Interesting.
But I have no real, I don't care about as much of the sports. I've never gone like ice skating before. I've never watched hockey in my life. I've never been snowboarding or skiing. I don't know. For some reason, it's always just, I don't know.
Okay. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
I like the Winter Olympics because I feel like it's more controllable. Like they're half as many sports. Like you can actually watch everything. Like it's stuff that like I'm very unfamiliar with, which is what I like about the Olympics. Like I don't necessarily like watching basketball in the Summer Olympics because like I can watch basketball whenever I want. I'd rather watch like handball, like just weird shit that like, so I like the Winter Olympics because you got like snowboarding and skiing, and you got like the ski racing, you got some bobsled, the cross country skiing. I don't know. I also like love skiing and love like I like snow. You don't like snow, so you probably don't like it. Speed skating's fun. Have you ever watched speed skating?
Yeah, I'll watch some of the speed skating at times. Like that's one of the
speed skating is like the only like truly exciting one, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's the one I always would watch when I was a kid. I don't know why. It feels weird to not, but I've never, I'll like watch some stuff in passing every now and then, like if I'm over somewhere and they had it on, or if there's just nothing else to watch or whatever, I'll kind of be like, oh, like let's see what, so and so. I've heard this person's good, or I'll see on Twitter that something big is happening, so I tune in, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. The Summer Olympics, maybe just because I generally, even some of those like smaller sports, I'm a little more familiar with. And then also like I always love swimming and track and that kind of stuff.
Forgot
Like,
about swimming. Yeah. No, that's fair. I like really getting to figure skating now, but mostly because of Michael. So
yeah.
I remember last year, like I was like standing up, staring at the TV, like fucking land this jump, dude.
My mom always liked the figure skating.
Dude, man, it is.
So I'd watch that.
What's crazy? So the reason I used to hate figure skating was because of the judging. It was so bullshit, but I never knew why it was bullshit. This documentary I watched, dude, the figure skating judging up until they changed it after this whole French judge thing, or I guess they changed it after the French judge thing. It's different now.
Yeah.
Dude, it was incredulous how bad it was. Yeah. Like, the fact that they couldn't grasp with their heads of how biased this whole thing was unbelievable. So basically you have 9 judges. You used to have 9 judges.
Okay.
You have, and basically you need 5 judges to like vote you first or whatever. I'm dumbing it down. So what happened though, is you have like all the Eastern European countries, right? Then you have like North America, Canada, Japan, whatever. And then you have like these guys in the middle. So like France is like seen on both sides. But what happened when the Soviet Union broke up, okay, and the Soviet Union broke up into a bunch of different countries, right? That meant that all of those countries could have figure skating judges. So instead of the Soviet Union having 1 judge on the panel, the Soviet Union,
now have
Spain, Russia, Ukraine, whatever, could have 4 or 5 judges on the panel. and they would just vote for the Russians. It was unbelievable just how fucked up this was for so long. Anyways,
I hadn't thought about that being a
dude,
thing that could happen.
This documentary, they said it last night. I lost my mind. I was like,
Huh.
are you kidding me? How is that fair? And apparently all of these like Western European countries and like the US, Canada, like shit themselves because they're like, oh, we're never going to win another gold medal. Did you know up until the 2002 Olympics, the Russians had never lost a pairs gold medal in the Winter Olympics?
Wow.
Because they fucking rigged it. It was all rigged. They would basically like, I'm not going to make this about figure skating, but like they would basically, the judges would just like they'd vote in blocks. So like what happened in 2002 is there were 4 Eastern judges, 4 Western judges, and then there was the French judge. And the French judge was told by like the French figure skating executive director, hey, you need to vote for the Russians, because then on the ice dance team, the Russian block was going to vote for the French figure skater. It's so fucked up. Anyone who watched figure skating before the judging changed, like you just were wasting your time. It was all preconceived. Anyways, we can move on from figure skating. I didn't mean.
Oh, that's okay. So, did you guys get much snow this week? Because I know Nick and them got some.
We got like a dusting. I feel like we got maybe an inch.
Yeah.
It was just cold as shit and like, like enough enough where it was like, it actually wasn't a nuisance other than I had to go outside and shovel my sidewalk for like an inch of snow. But it was but like I had to do that. But like the streets were fine. Like, you know.
Well, let me before I get into one of the other things I did during these last couple days,
which I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I was curious to see like what your like go-to thing to do is on a day like that where it's snowing, it's getting bad, whatever. You're kind of just stuck inside.
I feel like that was a long weekend this weekend. My last free weekend.
Right.
I'm hitting the road next weekend for like a good month, basically. Yeah. So what did we do? We did a Peloton a couple of times. That was fun.
There you go.
Brewed some beer. We bottled beer on Friday and brewed some beer today. But I don't really have like a go-to other than like sitting and playing video games.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's like so pathetic.
No, I mean, like, well, that's the literal thing I'm about to talk about.
Yeah, I know. But like as like a 33-year-old male and yourself in your 30s, like
here's the thing.
Do you feel like it's more pathetic? Because our parents didn't have video games when they were 33. So like we can't be judged against our parents.
Yeah. But like I think one thing that like people say is like, okay, I think people would look at doing stuff like reading as being more productive, right?
But is it?
It's not. That's the thing. Like, what if I'm stuck inside my house? What am I going to do for an hour or so that's ultimately going to waste that time that is any better than playing a video game or watching a movie or something?
Well, actually, you're 100% right. I'm going to go on a rant here because this bullshit crap that was fed to us by our parents about how video games are so bad for you.
Yeah.
We could be Twitch streamers right now. We could literally be working 4 hours a day.
You want to
way less stress levels.
We can stop this and continue the show on Twitch.
But like seriously, we could be doing that, making a shitload of money. But no, our parents said video games were bad. And everyone of that generation told us video games were bad. I can say like video games taught me so much. Like
I don't know if I go that far.
I think video games got me interested in like sports business. It taught me about like different sports leagues, like how they were structured, like all of this stuff. Like, and whether it's useful or not, I don't know. But like, I understand like Major League Baseball free agency because I played MLB The Show. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand like I learned about like when NFL owners build new stadiums and they have those seat licenses.
Yeah.
I learned about seat licenses because of Madden. Like I learned about a bunch of these things through video games. And it's bullshit. You're 100% right. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with video games.
So with that said, I was bored the other day, and it was in the beginning of the week, and it was one of those times when it was just the middle of the day, and I was just getting hit by like a wave of like, I just don't want to do my work right now.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm gonna step away, and by step away, I mean like literally just pivot this chair around to face my TV and turn on my Xbox 360
You said this is Friday, right?
No, this was on like Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. Yep.
This is before all the snow happened.
Can we sidebar really quickly?
Yeah.
Like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Dude, one of the best parts about working from home is like when you're working and you're focused on something and you just need to step away for like 15 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So much easier to do that. And I find myself so much more productive because of it. Like
It's hit and miss for me.
interesting. Okay, keep going. Sidebar over.
But this day on Tuesday, I just needed to like not do work for a minute. And like sometimes I'll just be like, I'm just gonna watch a show. Sometimes I do like a little midday shower just to kind of
showers
charge a little bit.
100p.
But this time I was like, you know what? I haven't played the NCAA football game in like 6 months. I'm gonna go play NCAA on the 360. And I go to turn on the 360, and the Xbox controller will not turn on. And
Out of batteries.
I'm like, okay, yeah, just get some new batteries, whatever. Put new batteries in, still doesn't work. Still won't turn on. So I'm like, okay, I guess this controller is just dead. So I did what any sensible person did, and I bought a new one.
Hell yeah, you did.
And it arrived on like Friday, right before all the snow happened and stuff. So
Amazon, I assume.
So Saturday, the snow hadn't hit on Saturday, but it was like starting the whole like getting cold and rainy and gross. So Saturday, spent most of that evening locked in playing an updated roster dynasty with WVU.
So that shocked me that someone still makes rosters for
They
these.
still do it.
Dude, that's incredible.
I just did like a Google search for like NCAA football 14 2021 rosters and found like a good one.
And if I'm correct, you download it from like a user, right? Like you search their user. Or
yeah. So
like
they
that.
have like a little thing on the game called like roster share or something like that.
Right. That's right. Got
where people can upload and download rosters from different gamer. Like you basically just like type in someone's gamer tag and it will download their roster file that they put on the thing.
Real talk, man. I'm going to be like 35 when the new NCAA football comes out. I am so excited.
I can't wait. We've already got, I mean, I'm counting you in for the dynasty that we're doing.
Who all is a part of this dynasty?
We have, I would say, I think we've got like close to 10 people involved right now. Already. I mean,
we don't have rules yet. Like you can be any team, man.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I do think eventually we'll need to make it, maybe have some kind of rules of what teams you can be or whatever, but
maybe dogs, not. Man.
Go maybe dogs. Not. But I remember I did a few years back when I was still living in Charleston, with a few people. I did an online dynasty, and it was a blast. It was so much fun.
Are there limits? Like, I can't even remember if there were limits on the old online dynasty.
What do you like?
Like team limits? Like, could you get like 40 people?
I don't know if you can. I think we had like the one that I did. We had like a 1.10 or 12.
And were you like all part of one conference, or how did that work?
You could be. I think you could be anybody that you wanted, but the team you started with. You could be anyone you wanted below like a certain overall team wise.
Got it. So you couldn't be Bama.
Right. Now you could eventually leave for Bama.
Right.
If you wanted to, but out of the gate, no. So like I was Kansas early on because that was when Kansas was like bad.
Yeah.
And we played it all on Heisman and it was fun.
I'm pumped, dude.
It's just so fun to like, because when I'm playing like this week, I get into, you have like your strategy when you're playing in like the computer dynasty and like recruiting.
Oh, recruiting. Yeah. And even plays too. I mean, like it comes to a point where like certain plays, right. And I remember it. I don't remember what they were, but like if you positioned yourself with a quarterback at a perfect spot, you'd always have one option.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah. But even like with recruiting where you're recruiting against the computer and you can kind of like get a good idea of what you want to do to make that work. Right. But then you throw into the mix like the online dynasty where like, okay, maybe instead of me just going up against the computer where they just kind of do the same thing no matter what to a recruit, I'm now recruiting actively against you.
Right.
And I have to say like, okay, what am I going to do to like, how do I adjust my strategy to make sure that I can like pass him up in this, you know, fascinating stuff.
One day.
I
So, I mean, you enjoy, and you played a lot, I feel like, this weekend.
I played like a few games. I haven't played the last like couple days. I played on Saturday, and I played like the first 3 or 4 games of the season. And then the next day I woke up and I started to play, but I was like getting into recruiting at that point. And so I was like, okay, I'm bored of playing. And so I just like
man.
basically simulated the rest of this. Well, especially like the first year or so with a team.
Yeah, and they suck.
I get bored of playing with it. I want it to be like my guys.
Your team, your boys.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to I've got a bunch of good wins. I'm in good position. I'm just going to simulate the games and then recruit. And I think my WVU team for this year went like 8-5. And so that's an improvement.
Did you ever like, I mean, you said you start with Kansas. Have you ever started with like a real shit team? Like
Kansas is as bad as it gets.
Western Michigan.
Well, yeah.
You have, okay.
Yeah.
There was a couple Christmases ago. This must have been 4 or 5 years ago. We went home to Atlanta, and Michael and I, you know how you can like sub out teams, or you can create, I don't know if you can create a team. We subbed out so we put in the University of Maine.
Nice.
In the Sun Belt, I think. Dude, we got fired. It was the hardest shit. Because they're like a 1AA team in that or whatever. So you don't have, I mean, you got all like horrible. The hardest thing I've ever played in my life.
Okay. So you might remember, I don't know if you might remember I did this, but it was at some point early on in like lockdown 2020. I broke it out.
Remember that?
Yeah, right. When people, I don't know,
actually cared. Yeah.
But so at that point, I started playing a little bit, and I was able to find on like the thing where people are creating teams, and like they'll create those FCS teams or the D2 teams, whatever. I found someone made a team that was like, I don't know if it was Juneau or what. It was some random city in Alaska.
Okay.
And every player was a 50 overall. Every player on the roster was 50 overall to start with. And I was like, that's the team I'm starting with. And I might still have the dynasty on my game. But I was in like the second or third year of it, and was getting to a point where I was like pretty good. Like, I think the first year I was either 0-12 or 1-11.
Dude,
and I kept the job. They kept me on.
That's the hard part. Like, I didn't, like I can count on the number of, I mean, I know the number of times I've been fired playing video games, because it like never happens. But when it happens, it's like the only plus side of being fired it's like, oh, it's kind of realistic. How about that? That's cool. I just got canned. But man, when we got fired, we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I wish I still had that game.
It's such a bummer. It's so much fun still. It's amazing to me how much fun it is still. Like, that's a game from 2013.
Why don't you think Xbox has made that like purchasable on like Xbox Live? No, not on an Xbox, like whatever one we have now.
Yeah. I don't know.
It has to do with some NCAA thing, I'm sure.
I wonder how much you can buy it for right now.
What was the year? NCAA what?
14 with Denard Robinson.
And that was the last one.
Yeah, last one they made.
My computer almost died.
What a game. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
How much do you think you can buy it for? Holy shit.
I have no idea. Probably a bunch. I would say it's probably no more than like a regular game.
I'm looking at one right now, and it's $379.
Where are you looking?
eBay.
Okay. GameStop at 70.
Dude, that's double the price of a real game now.
No, it's not. There's $60.
I don't know.
What games are you buying?
I have not bought a video game, and I don't know how long. Yeah. I get the FIFA.
Oh yeah, you get FIFA for
Shout
free
out
now.
EA Sports. Well, EA Sports is just such a great partner. They make
U.S.
such
soccer
a,
shill. U.S. soccer shill.
they make such amazing games.
If they're such
and
a
then,
great partner, get them to
and then
sponsor this show.
and then
That's all I'm saying.
and then
They're so great.
and then I play Call of Duty, which is free.
Lame.
And then I play, what other games do I play?
You should play
Formula.
Rocket League.
I bought Formula One. I bought Formula One 2020 for $19.99.
You should play Rocket League again.
I uninstalled that recently, actually.
You should play Rocket League again.
Do you play that still?
No, but we started to do. I've been making like some Twitch graphics for our esports team.
Okay.
And one of the things that they're having me make is like an overlay for when they play Rocket League. And it's got me like, I should get it back out again and play more.
Dude, I was so bad at that game.
I love that game so much.
I loved hanging out with you guys, but I just felt like I was always letting you down.
No, you weren't.
I was not good.
You were good at it.
No, dude. Out of all of us, I was the worst, and it wasn't close. But I appreciate it. I do appreciate it all.
But
I do appreciate you speaking nicely about me.
But I was just thinking about the other day. I think I texted Matt Sunday. I was like, we should play Rocket League again. Because especially now, because right now we're in this like weird flux position where we usually would play FIFA a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in this weird spot where like half of the people have the new console, half the people don't, half the people have the game or whatever. And so we can't play it. But the great thing about Rocket League is you can play it on whatever. Like I could play it on my PC here.
No, that's
while
fair.
you're on the Xbox or someone's on the PS4 or whatever.
Like, you play that other game at all anymore?
What?
The little like the computer guys who are like trying to be last. Fall Guys.
Oh, Fall Guys. I will play it occasionally. Yeah. Every now and then.
I've heard that hackers have gotten really bad on that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't played super often, but from what I've seen, I haven't noticed.
I always loved when you were streaming, when you stream Fall Guys. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Very watchable game.
It's a fun game to watch. It is.
Yeah, like because you're on edge. So
Yeah.
if you were gonna start streaming again, it's a shame you can't stream NCAA.
Well, you can. You just have to have a thing that gets. It's the same as like
you need like a video card to basically get from the Xbox.
It's the same as if I would
computer.
stream from like my Xbox. I just don't have any of the
the equipment.
Yeah, but I do. I've watched people stream it before. I watched people stream a few weeks back. Somebody was streaming MVP NCAA baseball, like one of those games. And I was like, man, those were fun.
I forgot about NCAA baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I was going to say one other thing. So we were talking about the dynasty stuff, talking about recruiting. Real quick before we get into our movie club discussion, we were talking a little bit because it's getting to that point in the college football off season where a lot of players are leaving, a lot of players are transferring to new places and whatnot. And the fascinating thing that I like to look at is how some of these coaches approach recruiting with these kids.
Because you have kids who are, anywhere from 15 to 18, if not younger. And then you have coaches who are like 60.
Right. And they're, in some cases, I think you're probably looking youngest is like in their 40s usually. I mean, you get some
you might have like a 37.
Some coordinators who are younger, whatever. But it's fascinating to me.
You're probably not going to have a whole lot of people though, coordinators or head coaches who are younger than us.
Correct. The thing that I was looking at earlier today though was there's a kid. So WVU just got Graham Harrell, who is USC's former offensive coordinator, right?
Texas Tech, great
quarterback. Yeah, I actually love the hire.
Who did he get drafted by? Do you remember?
He was a Packers guy, right?
I thought he was Houston Texans.
Oh, I know he won a Super Bowl with the Packers. But what I will say, so as soon as that happened, one of USC's like big time freshman quarterbacks.
No, he actually, sorry, really quickly, just to correct myself. He did not, I believe he was undrafted, and he played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 2009, Green Bay Packers from 10-12, and the Jets in 13.
Gotcha. So, but what I was looking at was USC after Harrell left, one of their top quarterbacks left, one of their big like tight end receiver guys left. And now they're transferring. And we've been watching because a lot of WVU fans have been like speculating, like, could they be following Harrell to WVU? So like I've seen them pop up on my feed a little bit whenever they go places to visit. And it's fascinating to see the way that like different schools, like what they're trying to do with these kids. Like Oklahoma had them in and they like rolled out the carpet. They like put them in the jersey, had them do like the whole video and photo shoot like they would with like one of their players getting like the big time treatment, which looks really cool and like would probably somewhat sway me a little bit. And then my favorite was they visited Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin was just like, hey, let's just go do a quick photo shoot out here with my Aston Martin. What do we think? And like just put a bunch of photos on the gram.
Like, I know we were going to talk about how we would recruit people.
Yeah,
man. Like, it's got to be tough, man. Like trying to relate to those kids.
Yeah,
and like, I mean, Lane, like, I don't know. Like, if you were a recruit and Lane Kiffin like take a picture with my car, would you give a shit? Because I'd be like, fuck you, dude. Like, I'm about to go make you a ton of money.
I'm assuming there was a comment made to him about the car because it's a sweet looking car.
Yeah, okay.
It's a sweet looking ride.
It's a fucking car.
But listen, people are into that. It's a whole, listen, it is a lifestyle thing. Like it gives off a vibe of a certain type of lifestyle that these kids would like to achieve. Like they're wanting to go to the NFL. They're wanting to make, money playing football. They'd be like, yeah, it'd be awesome to have a car like this. This looks dope.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I mean, I personally would be whatever about it, but I'm sure there are certain kids who played football at my high school that would have like lost their shit at the opportunity to like
take a picture,
see that car.
Yeah. If you are recruiting people, what would you do?
This is a good question.
We can make this like semi quick so we get in the movie club because no one cares about this.
Yeah. I think the Oklahoma way is like the way to go, especially if I'm a big school.
Right.
If I'm a big school, I'm pushing so hard. Here's what I would do. We're saying a fictional world where John Terry is the number one recruit in the country. He's coming to my school to visit.
Yep.
Right. And I know this ahead of time. I'm going to find a way to set it up to where like one of my best recent alumni players who's now having success in the NFL happens to like run into me that day on campus. Oh, you're back. Hey, wow. It's crazy.
It's someone who I know and I like aspire to be.
Yeah.
Brett Favre.
Anything like that. Just basically, I would do so much to just showcase like how good my school was.
I like that.
Just like especially in terms of like NFL people in some way. I don't know. There's no way to do that without it being like fake sounding.
Dude, I just remember at Washington, like when we would host people to recruit, some of the shit, man. I'm like, why do you care about? They would like, the football program was freaking out about certain things. Like, she's like, guys, no 18-year-old is going to give a shit about that. Like, just the dumbest stuff. Like, I don't even remember, but I remember being like, that is not like, guys. And they would go like steak meals. At one point, they were doing dinners in the Space Needle.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of cool.
Like, I would find like the best
Seattle and like whatever, but
I do think like there's part of it that like you would take them to the best place. And let's be okay. Can I be 100% real? We know we now have no one on this podcast well, I guess I work at an institution, but no one who works in an athletic department for an institution. Can I be honest about what I would do?
Dollar bills, y'all.
No, not even that. No,
okay.
not even that.
Okay.
Because guess what? They're getting that offer, whatever. NIL's a thing now. Who cares?
Yep.
Here's what I'm doing. Well, first off, I'm taking them to a couple local businesses for those NIL purposes.
I wonder if that's allowed now.
I don't see why not.
You're allowed to do official visits with
fine. We're going to go to fucking
dealership.
Oliverios downtown and like every local business person is going to happen to come by the table, whatever. I'm also like hooking them up with a current player to be their like visit guide and show them a good time.
Well, they do that anyways. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
But that's what you have to do. That's what it's the answer. Like I can do whatever I want as a coach. That's fine. Take them to a party tonight.
Yeah, that's what they do though.
Yeah, I know.
That, right?
Yeah. I know. I'm not stupid. But like that, it's the answer. Like take them out to do things that they're not technically old enough to do
yet. Okay, interesting. Probably a good plan. I mean,
a good time.
It's worked at a lot of places.
I don't know.
Do you think it's weird, like when coaches show off their wealth? So like Nick Saban takes out these recruits on his boat, or like, do you think that's strange? Like, is that like a weird? Am I just like, I don't know. I guess like I'd be turned off by that because like in my eyes, it's like so many people in college athletics. There's a stigma of like, oh, all the coaches are getting rich off these kids.
Yeah.
And the kids a lot of time are like, you know, there are a lot of college football kids who are coming literally from nothing. Yeah. And it's like, would I want to see like this rich old white dude like showing off his wealth? Like, do you think that's effective? Or like, do you think it turns people off?
I don't think it turns people off in most cases. I think there certainly can be cases where it does. I don't know. I also think it kind of goes back to
like, hey, if you come play for me,
it goes to the aspirational thing of it. Yeah. Of like, hey, like clearly there is a reason that I've been able to do this. And maybe if you come,
you can do it too.
You can help me buy a new house. You can go buy a new house. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. And then I mean, there's even stuff of like it seems like one of the big things that they do here is like Neil Brown will bring like the team over to his house a lot. And that's not necessarily like flashing his money around.
No, that's
like
true.
It's a nice house.
It's showing that he cares, and like you want a coach where the like you're going away from college home from the first time, so you want a coach. It's gonna show, you know. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I think generally it's so interesting to see like the coaches, and I think there are certain times where certain coaches can be like actually more relatable, but it is interesting to see like them trying to like flex for these
flex,
like,
but not 100%. That's the weird thing. It's the flex.
But it's what I mean. It's recruiting. Like that's the thing. Like it's the whole salesman vibe of it. Like you're not gonna be if you're like a used car salesman who comes in like some like shitty suit and like you know you're giving off this vibe of like I'm just another guy.
Yeah,
versus the dude who comes in like super sharp dressed who's like talking about all this stuff he's been doing and all these, you know.
I think ultimately it comes down to you got to know who you're recruiting, right? Because certain things and that's why these staffs have like a bazillion people on it. You got to know who you're recruiting and what plays to them, and you got to know if something's going to turn them on. Anyways,
movie club for this week.
Man, I love you.
I love you too, man. We are getting to the end of this thing.
We are second to last one.
No, third
to last one. You have one more after this. Yeah. This one. Okay.
You're going to pick your last one this week. Then I have my last one next week and I can't wait to show it. But we did I Love You Man this week. A little unconventional.
Kind of.
A little bit. It definitely hits the regular rom-com vibes, but it is also a bro comedy.
Yeah, there are two romantic things going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for anybody who has not seen the movie that's listening or watching, whatever, it is about Paul Rudd's character, Peter Clavin, who is a successful real estate agent who just proposed to his girlfriend when he realizes he doesn't have any friends to be in his to be his groomsman. So he is basically embarking on a journey to find his best man. Where he meets Jason Segel's character. So great movie. Paul Rudd, Rashida Jones, Jason Segel, Andy Samberg, J.K. Simmons, really good cast. John, what did you think of I Love You Man?
Watched this before. many times, not many times, but
So many
a
times.
a handful of times. Liked it more this time than I did last time. I like had the scene. I thought like what yeah, I just I don't remember liking it. Really liked it. Paul Rudd, solid. Jason Segel,
I'm really surprised by that.
solid. I just never liked it. I
Really?
think I was turned off by Jason Segel's character because for
Why?
some reason I don't know. I think I remembered it wrong. Really enjoyed it, man. Just good comedy, like the whole thing between Paul Rudd and what's her name?
Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones. Yeah, yeah. A little weird. Like they're like not like engaged for like a long time, and it's like she doesn't know that he has no friend. I don't know.
Well, they've only been dating for 8 months.
8 months
when they
months.
get engaged.
And then so that whole thing was kind of weird, but just really liked it, man. Like the comedy is just so good. You like the whole thing, like around the real estate thing was perfect. Like
It's
the billboards and like the rivalry with the hotshot real estate agent, and then you got like the Austrian fella. I mean, just like a solid movie. Less on like the romantic. It was.
that. Can I ask you a stupid question?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is by chance?
I have no idea.
Like that's not an actor playing a character. That's like a real guy playing himself in the movie.
No idea. Who is it?
I didn't think so. His name's Lou Ferrigno. He was like the guy who became famous for playing the Hulk on TV, like back in the 80s and stuff.
I had no idea.
That was why they kept doing like you won't like to see him
Hulk.
when he's angry and like kept calling him the
yeah.
Hulk because he was like the real Hulk.
Had no idea. No idea. Learn something new every day. But yeah, man, not as much like romantic as I like typically like in my rom-coms, but definitely a comedy and definitely about two different love stories.
I was gonna say, I think it definitely focuses a good bit on the Rudd Siegel dynamic, but I think it also still does a really good job. It also goes through the entire typical rom-com stuff of Rudd and Rashida Jones.
Yeah,
in a unique way, though.
Yeah, it just felt too shallow for me or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like that relationship pissed me off because it just seems so fake.
I can see that.
So
it definitely is like it shouldn't have been. I get why. I mean, obviously for the reasons of the movie, why they had to do it where it's like they're getting married.
Right.
But there's also there's another way they could have done this, maybe, where like he has to have some kind of something with a friend or something.
Like they're going on a couple's vacay, or they're going to a wedding, whatever. Something like they're doing something where he has to have.
But I don't care. I still loved it.
It's good.
I don't know. This is just one of those movies. So we've talked a lot since we've done this movie club stuff in the past, especially when we do comedies, from like this was made in 2009. So especially when we've done stuff from like the mid 2000s to 2010 like era, where it's like we'll talk about 40-Year-Old Virgin, Wedding Crashers, all that stuff, and be like, this stuff, it's really funny, but like this ages so badly. And this is a comedy that I don't think anything in it is ever really going to age that poorly.
Yeah, no, there was nothing.
It's all a pretty. Now, not to say that it doesn't get like dirty at times.
Yeah, but the dirty jokes
does.
would be the same dirty jokes that would be used now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought it was, I don't know. I think it might be a thing where I just like the people so much. And I like these characters so much, but I love it.
Pull up the rankings.
We have.
Let's rank this bad boy.
Screen share. All right. And here we go. So this is number 19 on the list. And we have, as of right now, 40-Year-Old Virgin, number 1, Palm Springs, number 2, The Big Sick, It's Complicated, and You've Got Mail round out the top 5. The rest of the top 10 is Crazy Rich Asians, Wedding Crashers, Easy A, Set It Up, and 10 Things I Hate About You. Always Be My Maybe is at 11. 4 Weddings and a Funeral at 12. Fever Pitch, No Strings Attached, Hitch, The Proposal, 27 Dresses, and then last is still Love, Wedding, Repeat. I I get a vibe that you are not going to want to put it super high.
I'm curious where you're going to put it.
In terms of general enjoyment of this movie,
Well,
it's number 3 for me.
I was going to say number 4. I was going to say right behind The Big Sick.
I'm okay with putting it behind it, I guess, because it's a more traditional rom-com. So for the spirit of this, I would be okay putting it behind it.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Good.
It's an easy watch. It's an easy watch. It's like, it's just a solid.
I'm also saving my big push in the argument.
Okay.
For next. Because I'm very excited for my last one. And I will fight. I will fly to Chicago and physically fight.
I probably won't be here, so that will.
I will fly to wherever you are, and physically fight for that to be number 1.
All right. Well,
but I think you'll like it anyway, so I don't think I'll have to. But so there we go. That is going to go in at number 4, and you now get to pick your final movie. What?
No, I sent you a little message in the chat here because I know we were going.
Okay, you have forgotten what you picked because it's such a good movie. It's so good and unforgettable.
Oh, I got it. I'm an idiot. We are watching
such a great movie.
We are watching. I'm not going to do this with you if you just insult my movies whenever you fucking go. I'm done. No, we won't finish this. Like if it's like if someone doesn't pick a movie that you don't like, it's just bad. Bad.
I never said that.
Your attitude suggested it.
You can't remember what it is.
We are going to, because we just looked it up. We are going to, because I didn't realize I had one more movie. I thought this was the last week. We are going to go with The Switch with Jason.
Such a liar.
What?
Nothing.
Are we not going with The Switch with Jason?
No, we are going with that. But you saying like, I didn't think I had to pick one. When we
directed by Josh Gordon and Will Speck.
That's right. Jason Bateman.
Loved me some Jason Bateman.
Jennifer Aniston, right?
Yep, correct. 2010, an unmarried 40-year-old woman turns to a turnkey baster in order to become pregnant. 7 years later, she reunites with her best friend who's been living with a secret. And you can guess what that secret is.
I'm excited to rewatch it.
Yeah, I've only seen it once.
I was going to say, I don't think I've seen it since it came out. I don't think I've rewatched it since then. It's been on it was on Netflix for a while. I think now it's on Paramount. Is that what we said?
Paramount, or that one that started with a C that was free.
Crackle. So yeah, it'll be exciting. I like Jason Bateman a lot, so I'm excited. I love pushing your buttons a little bit. It's so much fun.
You're not. See, here's the thing. You weren't pushing my buttons. You were being serious.
You forgot. It's so memorable that you forgot about it. So, but that is what we're going to watch. We're going to watch The Switch next week. And with that, unless you have anything else.
I got nothing else.
Nothing else. That's all we got for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and give us a rating and a review. Where can they find us on the socials?
Phoning in pod on Twitter and Facebook, phoninginpodcast@gmail.com.
Correct. And as always, a shout out to Miguel Silva-Leone for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Lemon on Spotify and Apple Music. And with that, that's all we have for this week. We will see you next time.